So tomorrow marks 50 years since Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. And today, people from Chicago and across the country are meeting at the Mason Temple in Memphis.
That is where Dr. King gave his final mountaintop speech the night before his assassination. Eyewitness News anchor Cheryl Burton is joining us live from Memphis tonight. Cheryl?
Alan and Kathy, it was April 3rd, 1968. It was a stormy night here in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. King's disciples had already arrived here at the Mason Temple. Jesse Jackson Jr. and Ralph Abernathy had delivered speeches. They had rallied the crowd in support of the sanitation workers, but the people wanted to hear from the preacher from Atlanta. So a phone call was made. Dr. King arrived, and he would deliver his final sermon in what has become known as the mountaintop speech. So tonight, a tribute and commemoration to pay homage to the I Am a Man movement.
He is an eyewitness to history. Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr. returns to the balcony and remembers the moment that forever changed Memphis. Today, 3 generations stand together as Reverend Jackson reflects on 50 years later and the hope that Dr. King's mission is never forgotten.
He wanted to have affordable health care, Social Security, a job that pays for everyone, bottom up.
At the Mason Temple, where Dr. King delivered his final sermon in support of the striking sanitation workers who wanted to form a union for better working conditions and fair wages, union members from across the country participated in a day of action at the Mountaintop Conference. Eddie Sanders is from Chicago, but he lived here in Memphis when Dr. King was killed.
And that was a sad day that day, because I had marched with King twice when he began with the garbage strike march.
And today, Sanders lives by Dr. King's principles.
King was nonviolent, and part of our theme today is to lead with love. And that's what we try to do too, because we need everybody to make this work.
For Illinois Congressman Bobby Rush, returning to Memphis has been reflective of Dr. King's impact.
I recall the rioting. I recall going out on the west side and parts of the south side. And so it was anger. It was anger, bewilderment, shock, and followed by anger.
Congressman Rush says today, 5 decades later, the anger has been replaced with wisdom and determination to live out what he calls a king's conscience.
I still have the zeal. I still believe absolutely that Dr. King's vision for America and for the world is still the most powerful vision that we could have, that anyone could have.
The speech lasted about 40 minutes, but it is the last 60 seconds where he refers to the promised land and the mountaintop that people remember still to this day. I spoke with some of Dr. King's friends, and he told me that the night before he was killed, he was no longer distracted by death, and that was reflected in his final sermon. The next day, he would be killed by an assassin's bullet. Tonight, a commemoration here at the Masons Temple. They are expecting a full house, an invitation-only celebration of his life. His daughter, Dr. Bernice King, and his son, Martin Luther King III, will be speaking tonight. That is the latest from the Mason Temple in Memphis, Tennessee. Cheryl Burton, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Kathy and Alan, back to you in Chicago.